everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name's Nicole and this is Darvanalee Design Studio, and today we are here for DDs FlossTube episode 113. So let's get started. Good morning or good evening everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while I prattle on about all the things that I have worked on this week in the means of cross stitch. So if you are a new viewer, welcome to the channel. Thank you for clicking on this video to see what it's all about. Don't forget while you're here to subscribe to the channel, even give me a thumbs up as well, and maybe leave me a comment and tell me where you're watching from so I can have a chit chat with you and get to know you a little bit better. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back yet again and spending some time with me. I really do appreciate each and every one of you turning up every week, leaving comments, giving me thumbs ups, and just giving me encouragement along the way. All right, so as I said, we are here for a floss tube, and yes, I have worked on cross stitch this week, so that's exciting. I haven't got much done, but I have made some progress on a Qld, and I made progress on a blue flower stitch that I've been stitching on, and I also got some stitchy kindness in the mail as well, which was absolutely lovely. All right, so let's get straight into my cross stitch. So for the first one that I worked on this week is the Blue Flower Huckleberry Farm. This was a prompt for bingo, which was to stitch on your favorite designer. Now I have many favorite designers, but I love the Blue Flower stuff, and I just wanted to get some more stitches into this. So I've been working on this slowly but surely, getting some of it done. And when I showed you this last, I had finished all of page 1. I think I've just got the top of a little bear to do down here, but I'll do that when I start on the page down here. And then I'd moved over into page 2 for the wording, and I had started the house. So I had the grey done and some of the white done along. I had to do a couple more rows up there, and then I also had to do the windows, which you can't really see. So yeah, and then I've put in all this white, the green, greenish yellow, and then all of this grey as well. So I spent a couple of hours on it this week, just a little bit here, a little bit there, and I'm pretty happy with that. I don't have too much more of the house to go. And then once I'm finished this house, I believe that I'm on to page 3, because this moves over into page 3. So yeah, so I'm super excited about that, and I'm just working the page. So then I'll have this border to do on the other side. So let me just bring it up. It's not a great picture, I know, but we have a bear and what looks like to be a beehive, and then the so in page 3 we have this section just here. So yeah, so hopefully I will be just putting some stitches in whenever I can. At the moment I'm just using my bingo prompts, and Sunday's bingo prompt went up, and that is to do an FFO. So it'll be exciting to see a lot of people do some FFOing and sharing it over in the Facebook group. But I am super chuffed with my progress on this, and I think I might keep it out, just put some sneaky stitches in every now and again. So yeah, so I am looking forward to, I don't know what I'm going to finish. I've got my box there. I was rummaging around in it the other day, and I'm like, what do I want to finish? So I haven't made the decision yet. I might end up just putting them all on a wheel and spinning the wheel up, and then that will be my finish. So I'm going to work on that during the week. And then I'll be able to show you that next week. And you never know, I might have some spare time and get a little bit crazy and finish a couple more. All right, the next one that I worked on, and this is, I can talk about it because Savannah's not here. This is Savannah's 21st birthday present. Now, she is 18, so I have several years to get it done. And I have been a little bit lax and not doing much stitching on this. So I really need to just get a wriggle on and get it done. So this week I've managed to get 700 stitches into it, which is a lot more than I've been getting into it. And I'm talking about Red Dragon. It is a Heaven and Earth design. It is by one of my favourite designers, Jasmine Beckett Griffith. And if you don't know the story of Red Dragon, it was Savannah's imaginary friend. This Red Dragon almost, well, not this particular one, but Red Dragon almost put me in a nut house. The things that dragon used to do. So anyway, when I seen this, I'm like, and it's called Red Dragon, and that's what her imaginary friend was called, Red Dragon. I thought I have to do this for her 21st. Now, I showed Brendan last night. I was doing a little bit of stitching on it last night. And while we were watching, of all things, we were watching a Degrassi High. I swear, my husband likes reliving his childhood. We were watching Degrassi High, the next class, I think it was called. And oh my God, I was wetting myself. It was just so bad. Gave me a good chuckle. Anyway, I ended up showing him and he's like, oh, I didn't realise it was that big. I said, I'm doing this. And he laughed when he said it was Red Dragon, called Red Dragon. Excuse me. And then I showed him my progress and he goes, man, you have way more patience than I have. And I said to him, I said, it's actually really good because it's so repetitive. Yeah, you've got a little bit of counting, but it's so repetitive. You're just doing the same thing and it's very zen. And he goes, oh, okay, I sort of get it now. And he used to always like hassle me about doing stuff. And then it was the other day, we were watching Queen Charlotte. And she was doing some embroidery and he goes, I always thought that was just a total waste of time. He goes, but you actually enjoy it. I'm like, no, we do it because we hate it, Red. But anyway, Red Dragon. This is 400 stitches wide by 509. The finish on 25 count, this would be 16 inches wide by 20 1/4 inches high. Now, I'm actually doing this on 28 count easy grid, and I'm doing 10 stitch. And I know some people don't like to do 10 stitch. They don't think that that's cross stitching, but I just didn't like the full cross on the 25 count. I just wasn't getting the coverage, and excuse me, I just wasn't getting the coverage I want, whereas with the 10 stitch on the 28 count, I am actually loving the coverage. I don't see that white because there's a lot of, like, there's a couple of little white spots. But as you can see from the picture, that's where I was, and this is what I've got done this week. So I'm pretty happy with it. So just here, this section here is the end of page 3. So I'm almost finished 3 pages. And then when I get over here, this area is going to be super quick because it's a solid colour. I was having a look at the chart last night and it is pretty much just blocks upon blocks upon blocks of the same colour. So nearly all of the 5th page across here is the one colour. So I should be able to get through that pretty quick. So once I get past this few little colour changes and all that sort of stuff, and there's a lot of, like, the 939, I've run out of 939. I've only got a little bit left. So next time I'm ordering, I have to get some more. I'm actually going to get 3 or 4 boxes of it. So yeah, so all of this dark blue, while it looks like a black, it is actually a very dark blue, and it's 939. And there's a lot of that going down into the chart. There's a lot in the fairy. And all this part under here is, and underneath the dragon, wherever there's any shadowing or anything like that, that is all 939 too, as well. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of 939. So I'm going to grab a couple of boxes when I've got to do an order to replace some stock. So I'll get a couple of extra boxes for myself. But that is all I've stitched on this week. As I said, the bingo roll that rolled yesterday, that is to do an FFO. So you'll get to see that next week. I'm going to try and, as I said, push myself a little bit and see if I can't get a couple finished. I've also got some customers' FFOs to do this week, so it's a really good time. I'm going to have everything out, so I might as well just get it done. All right, so that is all I've worked on. The other one that I've been working on, for those that don't watch my Stitch With Me, I will be tacking a Stitch With Me on to the end of this video because we are working on Snow Village twice a week now. So this is my Stitch With Me that we're doing, and so last week we finished, except for the back stitch. We haven't done that yet. But we have finished all of the center block and we moved on to the block over here. So I, on camera last week, I did the little banner, what do you call it, garland across the top there. So we are now into the home stretch of this row, and then we've just got 4 little houses along the bottom to do, which they do go pretty quick. I must admit, this one took a little bit longer because I had lost my stitching mojo. But I'm super excited that I am now off that center one. Officially, that's the equivalent of 2 of those little houses. So probably not as many stitches in to equal to 2 houses, but pretty close to it because you've got the snowman and all that sort of stuff. So you'll get to see some more progress on that after this video, or this part of the video. It'll go on the end. So for those that don't know, last week, the week before, I decided that I wanted to work on this more to get it finished. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a short stitch with me, about half an hour. After I've done my FlossTube update, I'm tacking that at the end, and then I'll come back and wrap everything up. So yeah, we'll do a little bit of stitching and get some more progress done on that. And then on Fridays, instead of my FlossTube used to be on a Friday where I just talk about FlossTube, that is just a stitch with me now. So yeah, so we're going to have it Mondays and Fridays, so you can check in and see what my progress is. And sometimes I get a bit of work done on that over the weekend. So when I film my FlossTube, you'll actually see a little bit more progress on that. I didn't have that opportunity this weekend because I was busy with work and whatnot. So I also got some Stitchy Kindness, and the lovely Gail, she's seen this. I think she's seen this at market. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. But she's seen this, and when she was talking about it, oh my God, that is absolutely fabulous. I'll have to get that for Savannah. And she goes, well, I'm ordering it. I'll order it for you. And so this is a gift for me to stitch, but a gift for Savannah. She loves dinosaurs, and she is a teetotaler. I'm not sure who my daughter is, really, but she loves her tea. She's got a whole, in her bedroom when she was living at home, she had a whole drawer in her chest of drawers with little tins of tea and little packets of different teas and stuff like that. She loves going to, is it T2? She loves going there, and she had a collection of mugs and everything. Like, she had set it all up. She never drank that, like, she never made tea or anything in her room, but she had this like little tea caddy in her drawer. So I'm going to make this for her, and I'm also going to make her a tea pouch as well. But it's so cute. I absolutely love it. And I showed Neralee this when it came in, and she's like, oh my God, that is so Savannah. Like, she said she's going to absolutely love that. So I am actually going to start this sooner rather than later because her birthday is in October, and so I want to get it stitched and finished for her. So I'm going to dye some fabric. Don't know what color yet, but I'm thinking that I might actually, you know what, I think I might actually do this on black. I'll have a look. I'll do a floss toss on black and do it on black because she likes dark colors. And if I do that on black, because red is also her favorite color as well, and her room is red, black and gray. So if I did that on because she boards with some friends because she's at uni right now, but her room, as I said, is red, black and grey. So if I did that on black, that's going to work out really well. I might have to go a little bit of a lighter grey maybe, but I should be okay with that. I think black would look really good. That will stand out because we've got some yellow, and where there's the dark colours, there's the grey or the white around it, or there's like the tea bag, you wouldn't lose it because it's on the grey cup. So I might do a floss toss on that, and yeah, I'll put a picture up on Instagram. Oh, no, I won't. Can't put it on Instagram. She's not in the Facebook group, so I can put it there, and you can let me know in the Facebook group whether I should go with black, because I've got some, I think, 16 count black there and maybe some 14 count. So I'd like to do that, yeah. The more I look at it, the more I'm thinking that's going to be a black. All right, well, that is the end of my floss tube, and I don't have any haul or anything like that. As I said, I'm doing some FFOing this week. I will also do some stitching and all that sort of stuff, so I can have some more progress on things. My stitching mojo is coming back. I just think I just needed to have a break. Like, if you've been around for any given time, you know I do a lot of stitches. So yeah, I'm happy that it's back, and I'm happy that I'm getting into the zone. And I think last week having all those finishes in embroidery and in the cross stitch and all the rest of it really spurred me on to pick up the needle and get them moving again. But we're going to cut to a stitch with me, and I will come back in just a moment and after the stitch with me and wrap up for you. Okay, so as you can see, I have finished the centerpiece, and we are now stitching on the last block in this row. So I'm pretty happy that we have made this progress. It has been a long time coming, I know. You must be all very excited about it as well. So I'm just putting the finishing touches on the snowflakes that I have here, and I am going to then work on the trees, and like always I will do the stem of the trees, and then I will go down with the green and up, and I'll be with you until I'm finished the two little trees that have to be on this side. These little blocks don't take me too long. Like the houses don't take too long, and the trees and the snowflakes don't take too long. The bottom where all the snow is, like in the centerpiece that you can see there, that takes forever. It just feels like it just takes forever. But I'm hoping that, like I did with that centerpiece, if I just do half the cross, get that all done, that'll go a little bit quicker. So yeah, and I have to weave a lot of my threads and stuff at the back. I haven't done that, so I've got threads hanging around everywhere. I'm going to try and get more into the habit of finishing the thread with the pin stitch, because I think that is going to work a lot easier for me in the future. It's just really hard when you've been just pulling that thread through to the top for most of the chart. And you can see here that I'm trying to get the thread from the back because I need to have that brown for the trunk of the tree. And as you can see in the center one, there's 2 trees there. Well, there's the same, but they've just got the light green leaf on them. They don't have any of the dark green, and there's 2, a tall and a short one, that I have to do. So what I'm doing here is I am going to do a pin stitch, and then that way I can restart that thread and I won't have a big jump thread on the back. And I must admit, I have been in the past been very lazy and had jump threads and all that sort of stuff. Generally what I do after I'm finished a piece, like if there's a long jump thread, I'll go and cut it in half, and I'll weave the threads through. But yeah, it's just laziness on my part, really, and I really should stop it because it just makes for a messy back. Not that I really care what my back looks like, because at the end of the day, this is going to get turned into a cushion, and no one's going to see it. So yeah, and the same with everything else. So I've just done the pin stitch there to restart, and that means that there is nothing to weave on the back. It's all secure in place. Pin stitch is really great. If you haven't used a pin stitch method before for starting or stopping, I highly recommend it. I'm also doing a waist knot method as well, so the knot wasn't big enough and it went through. So basically what I'm going to be doing is making a large knot. I come a little ways down where I'm about to stitch, and then I'll go back up to the top of the tree and I'll start stitching, and what will happen is that will cover that thread and I don't have to weave it then, and then I'll finish with a pin stitch and then I don't have to worry about it. Sometimes I might just pull the thread through and not do a pin stitch. If I don't have to, I'll just weave it through later at a later stage, but I really need to get into the habit of doing that. So how was everybody's weekend? Did you have a good weekend? Did you get lots of stitches in? Don't forget to leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you worked on while we're doing a little bit of stitching. Did you work on Snow Village or did you work on something else? I always love to see what everybody's working on and hear what you've been up to in the comments. It's a great way for us to converse, and it's a great way to, keep each other company if we need to. Yeah, so for my weekend, I didn't really do much. I did a lot of stitching. I did a little bit of diamond painting. I had a Zoom catch up with my Patreon members, so that was lovely. We had a very cozy Sunday morning and just relaxed and I was doing a little bit of diamond painting, and others were crocheting and doing diamond painting as well. And we just had a great time. We were just nice and relaxed. It was a nice chill morning. We did some craft together and it was great to catch up with everybody. It was absolutely fabulous, and I'm looking forward to the next one. So yeah, it's a great way to catch up with Patreons and just have a little bit of a chit chat and a relaxing Sunday morning. So that was really good as well. What else did I do? We have 5 little kittens here at the moment, and they have been in the house, and now they're getting a bit big and a bit boisterous. So we have set up a area for them out the back. It's a old mobile chicken coop that we've used for our pets and whatnot. And so we have 5 of them. So we've put them in there to give their mum a break. And so they're in there jumping around like lunatics. They're eating solids and all that sort of stuff. And they're still drinking a little bit off mum, but she's getting quite cranky now. So we've separated them, and hopefully we can rehouse them, find homes for them, forever homes, and in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, then they'll go. And apparently Neroli wants to keep one. Of course she does. But I don't think her dad's going to let her. But anyway, she's spending time with one of the little black ones. And so, yeah, so we've spent most of Sunday afternoon doing that, getting that all sorted and making sure it was nice and secure and that they were going to be warm and all that sort of stuff. So they've got fluffy blankets in there that Neroli doesn't use anymore. And so we've just put them aside for the pets. And so we've put all that in there, and they've got a nice soft cushion in there, and all their food is all in there, and they've got a tarp over the top to keep the elements out, and yeah, they should be toasty warm in there. And they've got room to run around and play, and you know, all the things and that, and also they're not stinking up my house because I mean, it's okay when you've got one cat, but when you've got a litter of cats, it is not great. And they were in the laundry and whatnot, but still, it's like they need to go out now. So, and there's, you know, just that little bit of a smell because there's so many of them. But anyway, we've cleaned all that. We've gutted out the laundry today, and we've done all that this afternoon, and we've got them all set up, and they were really happy out there. They were rolling around in the grass and climbing over things. There's little bits of timber and stuff, and they were climbing all over that. I'm going to go up the back and get some tree like branches and stuff, thicker branches, and put one in and lean it up so they can climb on it, and put some dangly things in there so they've got something to play with so they're not always fighting each other. But yeah, they're very adorable. And yeah, so hopefully we'll find so if anybody's local in Kingaroy and is looking to adopt a kitten, we have some free to a good home. So yeah, so yeah, we just cannot keep them as much as they're as cute as they are, and they're beautiful, like natured kittens too. So, but they do have to go, and Neroli can negotiate with her dad because I am not doing it this time. And that she loves her cats, absolutely loves her cats, but she also loves dogs too. So I don't know how she's going to go when she, you know, moves out of home. She reckons she's going to get these cats and dogs and all the rest of it, and I'm like, yeah, all right, we'll see how that goes, shall we? I also did a lot of planning as well. So after I did that, I did a little bit of planning. I got set up for the week. So I'm all ready to go. I've got a bag tutorial going up over on the Patreon channel. So if you're a gold member, you I think it's also the silver member as well. I don't have my notes in front of me, but if you're a gold or silver member, there is a bag tutorial that goes up once a month, and this one is a new type of project bag. One of the Patreons said, hey, can you make something like this? This is what I'm looking for. And I'm like, yeah, sure, no worries, I can do that. So over the last couple of weeks, I've just been doing a little bit of designing in my mind. If you've been around for any length of time, you know that I like to construct and deconstruct in my head and then start sketching it out, and then I'll do a couple of prototypes. So today I will be doing a prototype. I've blocked out about 4 hours, and I've already put down all my measurements and constructed it in my head and all that sort of stuff. So now it's just putting it into action. So sometimes what I do, and I was saying this on the Patreon Zoom meetup, sometimes what I do is I construct it and deconstruct it in my head, and I might sit on that for a good month of just playing around with measurements and visualizing what it's going to look like and visualizing it going together. And this is just my design process. I'm not speaking for all designers out there, but I find that a lot easier, that if I just sort of zone out and think about what I'm making, and little tips and tricks will come to me along the way. If it's a very complex bag or something like that, well, then that will be, you know, that'll probably have several, maybe even up to 6 prototypes that I do, just so I get it right before I start filming it. And yeah, so I've been constructing this one. This one is a simple project bag. It's just got a little bit extra in it, and eventually the pattern will be up on the website to purchase, but the video won't be going on the YouTube channel. It's actually for Patreons only. So yeah, so I'll let you know when the pattern is up on my website and or Etsy store. So yeah, so I've been doing a bit of that, and I've got all the prep up for that. So I've got to make I've prepped enough to make 3 prototypes, but I'm pretty sure this one is going to go together pretty quickly, so I will end up probably only doing 2. The first one sometimes can be a little bit dodgy, and so the second one is a lot better, and by the time I'm ready to film, I may have done another one, and then that way I can get it all filmed and it turn out correctly. I also pulled out some of my diamond paintings that I was showing some of the Patreons as well. So I got a tip from one of them about storage and all the rest of it. And I have all of my diamond paintings just in a cupboard, and there is no rhyme or reason to them. So I am going to go down and I've got a double cupboard that they go in. So I'm going to go down, and their shoe plastic containers, you know, they're probably about, I don't know, 25 centimeters deep, and they're about 40 centimeters wide. And they will hold, and they're quite long, but they'll fit in a double kitchen cupboard. So I thought I might go down and get one of them for all of my smaller charts and lay them all flat. And then she suggested that I get that she uses a second one with all of her, and she has a sticker on the tub, on the diamonds, and she has them in a separate tub, so you know what, and the numbers match to the charts and all that sort of stuff. So I'm like, I love that idea. So I'm going to go and have a look at Bunnings during the week and see if I can't get a few of those and see if they fit. Like, I take some measurements and whatnot and see if they fit in there, and then that way it's going to get them all nice and flat, and I can just pull them out when I'm ready to go, because I've got a ton that I got from fan sales. I have a few that I got from AliExpress as well. They're mainly the kids ones, so I'll probably just leave them packaged up and put them in the craft cupboard, because I'm creating a craft cupboard for Mia, so I might just put them in there and let the girls know that that's where they are. But all the ones that I have, I really want to get them out, and I've set up an area where I've got a jigsaw puzzle table, and I've set up that area, and I've got a little stool there, and it's great because everything is out and I can just get these done. And I've got a diamond painting video going up on Tuesday, tomorrow, so you can have a look at that. And it's got a little bit of a explanation of what I'm going to do going forward with the diamond paintings and all that sort of stuff, because they're just sitting in a cupboard at the moment and they're not getting done, which is okay, because I'll have stuff to do in my old age, but I would like to get them sitting a bit flatter and sort of ready to go, so I can just pull them out and start working on them. And I have a lot of 30 by 30s, and I've got some 30 by 40 ones as well. I've also got some 50 by 60. They probably won't fit in that tub, but I can sit them underneath the tub, and that's going to keep them nice and flat. But I can get all the diamonds, because the last time I opened it, they all fell out at me. And I've also got some, remember ages ago, I was getting those diamond painting kits that were coming in once a month, and they had like a little craft in them, and then they had a couple of charts in them and all that. I've got all those there too. So I've got all those boxes, they're all just still sitting in boxes. Now I can leave them in those boxes and they're going to stay safe, or I can get them out and put them in, because at the moment they're actually underneath all of my cupboards because they don't fit in the cupboard. There's that many diamond paintings in there. So I just need to get some organisation and happening down in that section. And at the moment, out the front, there is a car in front of my storage shed, and the grass hasn't been mowed around the storage shed, so it's got quite long. And I said to Brendan, you really need to move that car, because I really need to be able to get to that storage shed, because it has all of my tools and all that sort of stuff, and office supplies and all that sort of stuff. And at the moment, it's like I've got to climb through the jungle. My husband is not a great outdoors man. He does not like mowing, and I mean, I don't know. Well, there are some men like my neighbour who just obsess about it, but Brendan is not one of them men. He is a collector of junk, a little bit of a pack rat when it comes to car parts and all that sort of stuff. So the front of my house at the moment has a car and a motorbike and an old swing set, and I want it all gone. So I've sort of put my foot down and gone, you know what? I have to look at that, and I don't want to look at it anymore, so get rid of it, please. So and Nerily and I want to sort of fix up the front a little bit and put I don't know if you've seen them before at Bunnings. I've seen them a couple of times at Bunnings, and sometimes they're on special and they're only really cheap. And they have these like half barrels
that, or actually they're probably a quarter barrel, not a half barrel. And they use it like, and they've got holes drilled in the bottom, so you can put soil in them and you can put trees in them. So I was thinking of getting, those patio fruit trees that you see, like they've got a mixture of fruit on them, or you can get patio lemon trees and lime trees and stuff like that. I was thinking that I was going to get some of those patio lemon trees, because I love lemon in my water, and get some lime ones as well, and just have a couple out the front here, like 3 or 4 of them out the front lining the path, and that'll neaten it up a bit. And then Neroli goes, I would like to put some flowers and stuff. Now our garden beds we can't dig in because we've got trees and stuff in there, and they've got heavy duty weed matting underneath it, so no weeds come up there, and there's a lot of leaf litter and all that sort of stuff that is creating the garden bed, but you can't dig in it. You can't even dig down to plant anything in it, and I don't want to rip that up because I don't have to get in that garden and weed it out. So I said to her, look, you know what, I'm happy to go and get maybe some garden beds or something like that, some those long pots and that, and we can put some flowers in them, and we can put them on the stairs, and just pretty it up out the front a bit. And I said to her, I might even think about getting some of those metre by metre garden beds that you can get from Bunnings. They're made out of the colour bond, getting a couple of them and growing some of my herbs and my lettuce and all that sort of stuff, especially in summer, because that's pretty much all I have is salad, and I add a lot of bulk into that. So when I say I have a salad, I generally have, my base is the lettuces, like a mixed lettuce, a butter lettuce. I really like those. And then I'll, chuck in a chicken breast, or I might chuck in some chickpeas, and then I get like grated coleslaw, the dry slaw, and throw a handful of that in, and some corn kernels, and I make a big feast out of it basically. So it's a full-on meal, but it's a salad-based meal. And in summer, I can go through a packet of lettuce a day, because I also have the lettuce and stuff on, or the spinach on my sandwich if I have a sandwich at lunchtime, or whatever the case may be. And sometimes I'll have 2 of those salads a day. So I said to her, maybe we can get some of those metre by metres and have some little garden beds out the front. It gets enough sun out there to, for the lettuce and stuff like that, but not scorch it. Whereas out the back, it's very scorching in summer. So yeah. That's what we're thinking of doing, but that's later down the track. That'll be after the last frost. We'll go and get those, because I really don't need to grow much else, like maybe a couple of tomatoes and stuff like that, and some beans or peas or something like that. But other than that, they're more vertical ones. They're not coverage. So yeah, that's what I'm sort of we're gonna do. And she's getting right into plants and everything. There's a room in the house that she wants to turn into like a little plant room that she can sit in, read a book, and have all the plants around her. So she's going to do that on the east side of the house, because that gets sun in there. And so she's going to do that. That's her project. That's got nothing to do with me. That's all her going to go down to Bunnings and get all the stuff. Obviously, I've got to drive her, but well, actually, she drives me. I just sit in the passenger seat while she's on her L's. And so she's got plans for that. And I think she's starting on that this week. Oh, excuse me. I do apologise for yawning then. Oh, excuse me. I'm just a little bit sleepy. But anyway, so that's her plans for that, and I'm hoping that I can get this front area all cleaned up a little bit. And Brendan was saying he found a place where he can get he's got a tipper truck, and he's found a place where he can get cheap road base, and he said that he's going to put more road base down in our driveway and clean that up a little bit. So he's starting to hear me now when I say I'm really not happy with how my yard looks, and considering I'm here all the time, I would really appreciate it if you get rid of all this rubbish out of I mean, it's not rubbish, it's his stuff, but to me it's rubbish. The same as I'm sure my craft stuff is rubbish to him too. So we're thinking about doing that out the front. It's just a thought at the moment. It may nothing will come of it, because I do actually have 2 garden beds out the back. The problem is there's more of his stuff around it, so we've just got to Neroli and I are just slowly but surely getting out there and just moving stuff, because she hasn't had much work during the day because of the new legislation that they brought out in Kingaroy, not Kingaroy, but in Queensland. she was exempt from the school age restrictions because she had left school, and then they changed it to 17, so now she can't work during school hours. So she's been doing a lot of night shift and stuff like that, and finishing at 9 and 10 o'clock at night, which she's happy with because it gives her days free. And we've been just slowly doing stuff around the house, which has been great. Because I mean, I don't have a lot of time to do stuff, but if she goes, look, we're going to do this on this day, I'll make time, and then we get in there and just smash it out like we did today with the laundry. Like she said, the laundry's got to be done, the kittens have got to be done, and I'm like, yeah, cool, no worries. Because that's sort of her domain. She takes care of that sort of stuff. And she goes, but I'm going to need your help. I'm like, I'm happy to help you. You just tell me the time and place that I need to be, and I'll be there and we'll help. Well, we couldn't move the cage that we've got, so we had to get Brendan to come home during the day today because he had a few jobs and whatnot, and he was gone to a swap meet. I said to him, when you come home, I'll need you to mow up the back because we cannot move this cage because the grass has grown up around it, right up the back, because it was right up the back. And he said, yeah, cool, no worries. So he mowed that, and then he ended up helping us move it, and we moved it down closer to the house so we could keep an eye on the kittens and whatnot. So, yeah. But they've been happily playing out in their new little home, climbing over everything and having just a fat old time. Mum's freaking out a little bit, but she also laid down on the concrete and she just laid there, and I went up and I was giving her a really good pat, and I patted her on one side, and then all of a sudden she jumped up and flipped over for the other side. So she was rapt that she wasn't getting hassled. She could just lay there, and so she was just rolling around in the grass and stretching out and having a really good time. But I feel really accomplished getting that done. That is all cleaned and sorted out now, and so is the studio. I've got everything set up. I've got permanent stations now, so like my Stitch With Me is permanently set up, and I've also got my slow stitching Saturday stuff that is going to be set up as well. It's all the things that I need for that is there, and then I've got another trolley that has the projects in it, so it's just a point of slide that trolley over, pull out what I need for that slow stitching Saturday and get it done. This coming Saturday I'll be working on the Birdsville cushion, which is a wool felt applique, so anybody that has been wondering what's been happening with that, keep an eye out for that on Saturday, this Saturday coming, because that is going to be making an appearance. I haven't worked on it for so long, so I'm pretty excited. I have it out already, and I'm planning on doing a little bit of leaf stitching because I've still got to do a couple of leaves, get them down, and I'm going to be cutting out some shapes and whatnot and doing some stitching on those during the week. I'm probably going to try and do an hour a day until I'm ready to film. But, that all depends on what else is happening, best laid plans and all. But it is out. It is there. I am looking at it, and I'm hoping to... I know I will get a lot of stuff done on that this week because it's just a little bit of embroidery that I've got to do and a little bit of cutting out. So if I spend an afternoon cutting out all the pieces and have all the bits and pieces that I need, then I can just pick them up as I go and get some embroidery done on those. So some of the little circles and everything, the flowers that I've got to do, you'll probably see them on my FlossTube next week, because I'll show if you don't see it. On the Saturday, I'll end up showing what I've done anyway on my FlossTube. So it's either way, you'll get to see what I had done for my works in progress. And of course, my Patreons all get to see that constant updates on whips and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, except last week because I had nothing but finishes. I had no whips. Which is fabulous. It's a great feeling, to get so many things done, because I think I finished a cross stitch, I finished an embroidery, the stitching part of it, I've just got to FFO it, and I've got to make some Suffolk puffs. That's another thing that I've got to get out to as well. I'm pretty sure I have little plastic templates for the Suffolk puffs, so I've just got to find where they are. I'm pretty sure I've got them. I've got a whole box of templates for different things, and I've got that in a cupboard in there, and I'm pretty sure they're in there, so I'll go and check that out and make sure that they are, and then I can get that little pin cushion FFO'd sooner rather than later as well. I also got a project out this week. It was my Dear Jane quilt, which is an English paper piecing quilt, and it has a ton of blocks in it. All the blocks are 4.5 inches, and I got the quilt as a row of the month through paperpiecing.com. When was that? That would have been years ago now. That was before Mia was born, so that must have been 2014 I got that. I have done 4 blocks I think in that, but I put it in my sewing box, and it just sits there and does nothing because I don't see it. So I found these containers, and I was showing my Patreons today, these other containers from Kmart that are a little bit longer. They're not 30, but they're 30 centimeters in length, but they're about 20 centimeters in width, maybe 25 centimeters. And they're going to be perfect for that. So, and I've been collecting blue fabrics, and I had a lovely subscriber send me a big bundle of blue fabrics, and so I've put them aside, and I've obviously collected some over time as well, and they're all sitting in my sewing box. So I'm going to transfer that into a clear box and label it so I know what it is. I found my label maker. I had misplaced that, and I found it, so I can start putting labels on what is in the containers. And I've made a plan to get one of my shelves from over in where my fabric is. It's got a bit of wool on it. Other than that, it doesn't have anything else on it, so I'm going to use that for my storage up the other end where the clock is that you normally see behind me when I'm doing FlossTube and stuff like that. So I'm going to put that up there, and then I'm going to get all of my wool that I have stashed underneath my countertop. I'm going to put my wool in there so I can at least see it. And I have a couple of projects that I want to do with that wool. Some of them is loom knitting, and there is also a crochet project that I want to do, and so I think to bring them to I've noticed since I've had all my projects, my whips out in those clear containers, I'm looking at them, so it's encouraging me to work on them. And I think that has been the problem in the past, that everything's been put away, so out of mind, like out of sight, out of mind. So having these scrapbooking containers that I've been using, and now these other ones, I will be able to really put some dents into my whips and get some stuff done. Like I went into a cupboard and I found like some K Facet, is it? Cafe? Yeah, anyway, I forget what the name of it is. I can hear you all yelling at the screen right now on that. Yeah, I've got some fabric there of his that was meant for a hexagon project that I was going to do that I completely forgot about. I haven't started it, but that's what I was going to do with it, and I found all that fabric, and so I've put that into a container. I've got a row by row that I'm working on. Just got to finish up, and that'll be done and ready to be that was the first one. I've just got to do the last row because I'd done the blocks. I done one block, but I hadn't done the rest of them when I'd done that, so I'd just done the one. So I've just got to finish that off, and then that can go into the pile for the long arm machine. And so I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 whips up there at the moment, quilting whips up there. One is actually not a whip. One is a kit that was given to me by a subscriber, which I want to work on sooner rather than later. The rest are all whips. I think actually one of the containers up there might not be a whip. That might be just my scrapbooking stuff, just looking from where I'm sitting and looking over there. So yeah, if not, I've got, was it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 or 9 projects in there, because one isn't a whip. So yeah, and it is like because I'm looking at them all the time. I'm like, oh, I must get onto that. And I've been making some progress. So one of them is the crafting with DDs one that we do on Thursday. That's almost ready to be sewn together as a quilt top. And then there's the if you're on Patreon, there's the heart quilt that I'm making. That's there as well, and I made some progress on that this week as well. And then I also have the Farmer's Wife quilt there as well I've got to do, and I found all the fabric for that, and I think from memory I think I have about 20 blocks to do of that, and I believe they are 6.5 inches, I think, without getting up and going to get them. I think they're 6.5 inches to block, so I've done quite a number of those blocks. I've just got to finish a few of them off and then put them together. Now, from what I can tell, I don't have all the templates there, so I've got to find the templates for them. I can work it out. I'm sure I can. But it is, I forget the name of the fabric. I'll have to show Michelle, Shell_Trails, because she'll know what it is. Sugar fabrics, sugar. I want to say sugar. Sugar flowers or something, I think it was. I cannot remember for the life of me, but I will ask Michelle, and when I do pull it out and get it finished, obviously I will show it in a floss tube or something along those lines, and you'll get to see it. But I have quite a number of quilts that I need to get finished, and then I have a pile of quilt tops that need to be quilted. And I was saying in Patreon today that I don't think I'm ever going to quilt them. I've made them. I've enjoyed making them. I don't know whether they'll ever get quilted. They'll just be there. If I need a gift for someone, I can always just quickly quilt it up, put a binding on it, and ship it off. So yeah, there's quite a number of things that I have here that I've done just for the sheer enjoyment of it. They're not a priority to get quilted, if that makes any sense. What else have I got over there that needs to be sorted? So once I've got the diamond painting cupboard sorted and I've got that bench down the back sorted, I'm getting some L brackets and some shelving, and I'm going to put a shelf where my clock normally sits, and that is going to be for things like stationery, that, like, reams of paper and all that sort of stuff, and or vinyl. I've got a heap of cork that's sitting in a drawer. They're just samples that I'll probably end up just turning into sunglass cases or little what do you call them? Little coin pouches and whatnot. Sorry, I just yawned again. I'm so sorry. I don't normally do that, but I'm feeling very sleepy. A lot went on yesterday, and I don't think I've caught up, and I've been into the gym and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that does not help. But anyway, I've got some cork there, and so I want to get some containers and get them in it, and just get a lot of the stuff that I've got stashed around for finishing and all that sort of stuff, and get them up on shelves and free up some of the drawers that I have in the cubes, and then that way I can have, because a lot of my cross-stitch whips are just sort of stacked on top of one another, and it's very hard to see what's in there, so I want to sort of get that sorted and whatnot. But anyway, they are some of the plans that I've got for this week to do, and as you can see, I'm getting to the top of the tree, and so when I get to the top, I'm going to call it a day and get on with the rest of the day of some more editing, some more filming, and some more organising, and get this place shipshape and ready to go so I can get some stuff done. But I love the progress that I'm making on this. I'm really, really, really stoked that I decided to do 2 days a week on this project. It's going to be absolutely great. But that's it for today, and we'll be back to finish some off.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I do hope that you enjoyed the stitch with me that we had, and also the little bit of stitching that I've done. I'm looking forward to getting more, as I said, more stitches in. I'm super excited that my stitching mojo has come back. But I just wanted to say thank you very much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you being here. Now, if you haven't done so, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, because my analytics tell me that 75% of people that view my channel aren't actually subscribers. So make sure you hit that subscribe button button and the little bell icon beside it to all notifications, and then that way you're not going to miss out on any updates or any tutorials. And as always, leave me a comment down below. Leave me a little dinosaur or dragon emoji down below so I know you've got this far. And that's it from me today. Have a wonderful day. Get lots of stitching in. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.